So this is a video on using a guitar to control the 1010 Fireball, and this is a cool little synth that I was recently reading on, and it's pretty small. It's actually really small. As you can see, there's my hand. I do have big hands, but that's the size of my hand, and so this thing is actually pretty tiny. And just so I'll explain how I'll be doing this, so I'm going to be using a guitar that has a hexaphonic pickup in it that will split the signal of each string, and that guitar is being fed into this Primova GKPX14, and from there one signal goes to the Boss SY1000 guitar synthesizer. The other signal goes to this JKC AD box. So what that does is it takes the 13-pin cable that the SY1000 uses anyway, and it puts it into Boss's new serial synth cable, which is a TRS synth cable, and that then takes it to that signal to the Boss GM800, and then from the GM800 I have the MIDI out, the guitar-to-MIDI going to here, and then I have those three things all being routed into this Zoom Live Track 8 mixer, stereo into two headrush cabinets. So this is the guitar I'm going to be using, and as you see, it has the normal humbucker, single humbucker pickups, but it also has hexaphonic pickups. So under these saddles are a Graphtec system. This guitar is probably around 20 years old. This system's been around a long time. I have other guitars with built-in GK pickups in them, but this one seems to do pretty well. The Graphtec seems to track a little bit better than the LR Bag system, and then the Fender Rollin' Ready Stratocasters have an actual GK2A pickup built in them. Fender used to also make a GC1 which had a GK3 in it, which is a little bit different. Not entirely hugely different, but a little bit different. So what I'll be doing is I'm going to be attaching this cool cable, which is kind of a crazy looking cable, not your traditional MIDI cable. Kind of hard to see with the camera there, but there's 13 little pins in there, 13 wires. So these cables are finicky. And then it goes into the output here, or input, and there's also a 1/4 inch there if you want to do just your regular pickups. But this cable also transfers your regular pickup sound into your mixer as well, so, or your synth as well. So let's go ahead and check out how this is going to sound. Right, so as I said before, we're going to be controlling the 1010 Nanobox Fireball with a guitar. So this is a cool little synth, and so it's interesting. The things you can do with it obviously are going to be limited by what is going on with the guitar into the GM800, which is taking the audio signal and turning it into a digital signal for the MIDI. But it's interesting because you can even change patches on it. just from the guitar, having the GK pickup. So it makes it really friendly. It's friendly in terms of, you know, if I ever wanted to use this in some sort of performance, which I'm not sure that I would, but certainly fun for messing around and laying some tracks down. I also have to say that the GM800 tracks really, really well. I've been using guitar synths for a long time and started out with the GR1, the Roland GR1, a long time ago. And one thing to know about the GR1 was it has some really great sounds, and I was able to use it on a lot of recordings years and years ago, but it didn't track that well, so you were kind of limited. And quite honestly, even though the GM800 does track really well, compared to that, it's still not perfect, and that's okay. I don't think that they'll ever have it completely down, and that's in a way kind of part of the beauty of guitar synthesis, is the fact that it's having to figure it out, and so it kind of makes you have to be creative. One of the things that Boss did with the SY1000 was to use more of their modeling technology to do the dynamic synth. So you can, so for instance, if I'm going to mute the Nanobox now, so this is just a saw sound. Excuse me, if I can play. And there's no latency there. It's just spot on. Technology, it's not doing what the GM800 is doing with the PCM synthesis. The SY1000 is a subtractive synthesis. So it's really interesting to take. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to make it so I'm not going to change programs on the Nanobox from the GM800, and I'm going to put the GM800 on a patch that I came up with the other day. So this is just that isolated. So kind of a whirly, swirly, ambient, rainy, weird thing. I kind of like that. And then for the SY1000, I think I'm going to put on a patch that I messed around with quite some time ago and I've really enjoyed using, and just kind of a fretless guitar sound, which that's a bit loud, so I'm going to crank that down, back up a little bit. I had some external delay pedals on, I'm turning those off. So I like that sound. I think it's going to pair well with the that ambient rain sound. So I'm going to put that ambient rain sound in. Just going to hit a note, and I'm going to bring that in, so it's not overwhelming the other sound. then taking the Nanobox and mixing that in. So I'm going to isolate it again. So that's kind of a cool sound. I think it's very textured sounding. Put that on in the background with it. Let's see how it sounds. So some really fun stuff there, and I may have failed to mention it earlier. This is a Godin Freeway SA. SA stands for Synth Access. So that's using the Nanobox, the 1010 Nanobox, which is new to me, the Fireball. I'm going to probably do something with the Lemon Drop by 1010 pretty soon. See how that sounds with the totally different kind of synthesis with that one. Pretty interesting stuff. I think this company is really doing some cool things, and I like that the form factor is so little but does so much. I also like how well it integrates with a Guitar Synth setup. I wasn't expecting that. When I hooked it up, I was really expecting it to be just laggy, lots of latency, but that has not been my experience at all. It's been actually really cool. And I think other guitar players who are into guitar synths would really like this kind of thing. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not getting paid to say any of this. This is all my stuff. This is just what I do for fun. So, anyway, I'll play you out. Thanks for watching.